Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to BTV this Sunday the 16th of October 2022. It's Beeston men playing champions Old Georgians here at Nottingham Hockey Centre. Conditions are ideal, the teams are almost ready for their walkout. What we will tell you is a little bit about the position the teams are in before we get underway. I'm Andy Day, sitting alongside me is Steve Musson. This is the way the table looks at the start of the day. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's an interesting fixture, and people will have to excuse my voice today because I think I've managed to Sean Dyche myself on the side of the pitch yesterday, shouting at Beeston threes. But it is interesting. Old Georgians with games in hand will be looking to start to climb to where they think is their rightful spot in first slot today.
Indeed, it's been this is the third league fixture of the season for Old Georgians. They've already played across the road earlier this season, played at University of Nottingham first weekend of the season and won that one comfortably by 8-1. And then they hosted Holcombe and won that one by 3-0. In between those fixtures, they had a trip to the EHL and played Arminan and won that one by 4-0. And then it's a closer match than it probably made out in the result, but a 3-1 defeat against Pinnacle took OGs out of the final 8.
Yeah, good performance really. I mean, Pinnacle, great Dutch side, and OGs were competitive throughout that game. I watched it, and I think it was, they felt they could have done a little bit better, but they are up against a good side there.
So that is the position. We just need to let you know as well, our headline sponsor is the Magical Mushroom Company. The Magical Mushroom Company harnesses the natural flexibility and strength of mycelium, the material structure of fungi, to grow protective packaging at any scale by combining it with agricultural waste such as hemp, cork and sawdust. This offers a safe, sustainable and totally home compostable alternative to plastic foams. Ideal for packaging, horticulture and interior design solutions. You could say they're solving the plastic problem with the magic of mushrooms. Since 2020, the Magical Mushroom Company has produced over 500,000 pieces of mushroom packaging, and by 2023, they'll have effectively removed more than 1,000 tonnes of EPS packaging from landfill. Find out more about the Magical Mushroom Company at magicalmushroom.com. In the middle of your picture, you can see today's umpires, Lee Barron and Dan Reed, and on the page now we have the Beeston Matchday 16, which features 11 ever-presents.
Yep, they'll be pleased to have Henry Croft back in the side. They are missing Jamie Golden today, so that's a bit of a shame for Beeston. But Henry will be looking to impose himself on the league, I think.
Indeed, just quickly on the Beeston team, no Jamie Golden, no Will Prentice either today. In their place, we have the return of Balraj Panasar and Brandon Andrews. Yep. Looking at Old Georgians in their unusual kit, we'll come on to that in a few moments' time. Yeah. This is their lineup, and as I was saying, we've got 11 internationals or ex-internationals in that one, 10 from GB and England and 1 from South Africa. It's a daunting prospect today.
Well, it is. I mean, the Old Georgians are at the peak of their performance now, and some of their forward attacking play is as good as you will see. So it's a lot for Beeston to do defensively today.
Indeed, just mentioning about the pink kit, just to let you know the reason for that. It's designated against breast cancer for Old Georgians, thanks to Sam Ward's mum, Sue Ward, who's recently recovered. If you'd like to make a donation, justgiving.com/fundraising/Samuel Ward 13. I will repeat that, justgiving.com/fundraising/Samuel Ward 13. And you can see things are going well, but every additional penny helps against breast cancer. So this is the match which is in front of us. You can see Sam Ward with the right at the front of the picture, unmistakable with the headband and protective gear. Yeah. Beeston in the black and yellow halved shirts. And we're almost set and ready to go. The match ball is centred, and it is Beeston that get us off and underway. And look, you can already see an aggressive start from Old Georgians, and Sam Ward in the thick of things from the word.
Yeah, it doesn't take him long to get stuck in, and closing down defenders on the ball is one of his specialist skills, and there he goes again.
Immediate pressure from the visitors, and that's an indicator of why they're champions and where they are or wanting to be in the league this season again. early press, and I think Beeston have got the better of that and will clear. Who out of the galaxy of players who is in front of us today, who are you looking forward to seeing?
Well, James Albury, who was a Beeston player, and he's come on a treat. He's very worth watching. Very quick player. The Carson boys for Old Georgians. And then for Beeston, Sam Apula and Henry Croft as forwards. I'm looking forward to see them play today.
Into the circle, first opportunity. That one is wide of the uprights, and Old Georgians finding it quite easy to make their route into the circle.
Yep, just got to do with the bouncy ball off this new Beeston turf. You can see it bounces quite high, so they'll have to just get to grips with that.
It's interesting. I had a similar conversation last week with Jake Reed, and the women are finding it okay,
yes,
but the men not seeming so.
No, that's right. I think the men have found it a bit tricky, really.
So Beeston trying to get through the 23-metre line, and I think, yes, there's the umpires pointing. Beeston playing left to right in our picture. Sam Apula right in front of us in the camera position, wanting that aerial ball, but he's been ignored, and the ball's gone out to the left-hand side. Beeston playing left to right as our camera looks at and attacking the boulevard end in the first half. Old Georgians in the pink, white and pink, playing right to left, attacking the car park. And that's where they played University of Nottingham on the first weekend of the season.
Yeah, it was, yes. Good victory for Old Georgians. They found that quite straightforward. Bit of a baptism of fire for Nottingham University. But I think today you'll see quite a lot of aerials from Beeston from the back, trying to relieve some of the pressure of the Old Georgians press.
Allowed to play on. We will be coming back. Yeah, there's a ball popped up, and there's a little bit of confusion as to whether we're playing on or whether we're stopping. We're definitely stopped now. Can't ID the player down, but we'll keep an eye open for that for you.
Yeah, it looks quite serious, that.
I do have the binoculars in my bag, and I haven't got them out this week, unfortunately, yet. But what we does seem to be all okay, though. Precautions.
That was Kyle Marshall who taken a bit of a blow there.
Another one of the former Bees in the roster.
He certainly is, along with 5 others today. So good former Beeston contingent playing for Old Georgians today.
They know the way around the place.
Yes.
So it looks like we'll be restarting with an Old Georgians free hit from around about there. Good turnout today. The weather is good, and there's quite a lot of support on the sidelines as well, and around the other side of the camera too. Beeston getting it to
Beeston, yeah.
Dupre wanting it back again and gets it. French international trying to avoid the attentions of Sam Ward, and that's really nicely done as well.
Great pick-up and a lot of space there for Sam Apula.
Richmond did very well. There's the inside ball. It's been watched and flicked away, and the pace in the Old Georgians defence is plainly there for all to see.
You'll see the ball a lot with James Albury at right back. He likes to travel out with the ball, carries it very quickly over the 25 and towards the halfway line.
Just taking a little bit of time to restart. I'm just noticing you were saying 25, that'll be yards. 23.
Yes, 25 yards, 23 metres, yeah.
Just in case anyone's confused as to why we're saying 2 different numbers, that's the reason
yes,
for that.
Yeah. It's my age. A lot of ball pace there from Henry Weir to the right-hand side of the park.
Good use of the space and the speed of the ball as well, and quickly Old Georgians are into the final third of the field.
This will be one of the things Beeston have to deal with. The speed of counter-attack from Old Georgians can often catch you out of shape if you're not set and ready. But so far so good. Beeston have done pretty well to break down some of the attacks so far.
Just feel like this game's been going on for longer already.
Yes.
By the way, for those of you familiar with Old Georgians numbers, they've gone for more or less a completely different set of numbers than what we're used to for today. This is a special kit, and I think they've got some special numbering as well. So my numbers are all over the shop. So it'll take me a little while to understand what's going on as the ball's
dangerous place here.
Umpire was pointing towards the goal. Long corner is the outcome. Ball moving along quickly on the floor. Penalty corner, do we have?
Yeah, I think that was into Sam Ward, and he's found a foot. As we were saying, Beeston defender not quite set. Ball's deflected in and hit a foot. That was slightly the earlier play.
And this is the restart coming up. That was moved quickly. You can see.
Quick ball fired in. Little touch onto the foot. Now their short corner threat is very dangerous, as we know. Sam Ward. They have Ashley Jackson as well in their ranks.
Indeed, they've got 4 players who've scored so far in the league this season, bearing in mind that they've only played 2 fixtures.
Yeah.
James Albury scored 1, James Carson scored 1, 2 for James Tyndall, just the 7 so far for Sam Ward.
Yes, yeah.
Add that to the 2 he scored against Army then in the EHL as well, so it's 9 already across all competitions for Sam Ward for club hockey this season.
He's a bit the Erling Haaland of the hockey world, I think. He's prolific.
Just waiting for Beeston to settle on the line. Are we going to see a routine or are we going to see power from Old Georgians? Oh, neither is the result. It has been turned in though, and it's early goal for the champions.
Well, they didn't trap it exactly very well, and but the second phase hit was deflected, I think, and ever ready inside the D, nice and low for anything that's loose, and they've picked that up nicely.
It looks like from the camera tracking that Ward's claiming the goal. Let's see if we can see any better on the replay.
That went wrong. So looks like a deflection to me, I can't quite tell, but
we'll wait for official confirmation, because also the light is not in our favour today either, I don't think. And already, look at the speed again through the middle for Old Georgians. And Beeston handling that one fairly well on the 23
nicely
metre
tidied
line.
up there. That was better effort at defence, but it's still with Old Georgians.
Ward lingering on the around the penalty spot as well, and Beeston having to be alert to not give anything away. It looks as if it's going to be a big day for penalty corners, I think.
Yeah, they're going to have to Beeston. They're going to have to be very strong defensively and make sure they clear their lines quickly. And we can see how quickly it does come back onto them if they turn the ball over. So midfield role is very important in holding the ball up for Beeston.
Aerial ball not taken down for the first time allows the ball going into the circle. In Simon Husband in the Beeston goal, having to be alert and down low, ready for anything.
Sam Ward poaching again on that keeper's left post. Shame about that first goal, because I think Beeston were handling things quite well. But it's typical that OGs are capable of finding goals out of anything, really. Here we go, turnover. That's deemed to have been an offence.
Yep. Beeston can clear. I think they'll try and take as much time as they possibly can over this one. And
nicely through the middle from Louis Dupre, using the centre midfield player as an outlet, but very quickly marked by Old Georgians midfield players.
Still making adjustments to my numbers as we go along. Saying Tom Carson, number 8. Nicely turned towards the the left-hand side of the circle as we're looking at it, and that's stepped in.
Louis Dupre again, very watchful. This is where they need to be careful to make sure they retain the possession.
Flick ball down, that could be pretty good. Toby Stanley needs some support, or is he going to go alone? The support is coming. And Henry Croft with the diagonal ball towards the circle, takes in a touch. Goalkeeper George Pinner having to be alert for that first touch of the game for him.
Yeah, good cross, quickly fed in by Henry Croft. Anything could have happened.
So there is bite in this Beeston side.
There is, definitely, yeah.
Having to go the long way around. There's the ball into the circle. Did it take a touch over the line? Long corner is the signal. Beeston.
Bit of pressure building.
Yeah. 2 balls on the field, I think. Yes. That's the tricky balance for Beeston. You want to play quickly, but also you don't want to go too quickly and mess things up.
That's right.
And the possession back too easily.
I think that's exactly right, Andy. That little pass to the right-hand side should have been easily trapped, and it's gone off the side, gives possession back to OGs. Beeston need to cut down the number of times they easily pass that possession back.
Because they may... I'm trying to be as positive I can be for Beeston, but it could be a long time before they get that possession back again.
Yes, that's right. Just noticed James Albury, very fluid in the back. 3 or 4 players for Old Georgians. He goes from right half, plays onto the left-hand side as well, so it's very difficult for anybody to track him and mark him. Yeah, this is where you have to be careful not to turn the ball over, and
That's precisely what's happened.
Yeah, play into the midfield. It has to be very precise, but Beeston got the ball there.
Panasar was the player closest to it, and I think that's a definite tactic to try and find Henry Croft on the right-hand side at the earliest possible opportunity.
Well, the one thing about Henry, if he gets half a chance to get a shot off, you can bet it'll fly. So they'll be trying to get it to him in the D if they possibly can.
Also a note to say that Samapula pressing George Pinner very, very closely on that restart, which is something else to look out for.
Very much.
George Pinner is currently glued to his right-hand post, which is unusual, because sometimes you'd often find goalkeepers making a bit of distance because they can narrow the angle. No, he's very, very happily on his line at the moment, which is odd.
Very cool, calm and collected, I think, George, at the moment. That's gone off. I think that's gone off the side there. Quick restarts every time. Beeston have to be very alert to the fact that Old Georgians will restart the game as quick as possible on most occasions.
Nice disguise on that one to try and find Croft, who's on the run. Looks to be the give and go, and Beeston crabbing their way across the field.
Yeah, did well there. Still with... you see those little moments that could have been... should have been held up by the forward to give Beeston a chance to settle behind. The quick turnovers cause all kinds of issues for defences retreating.
So we've had 12 minutes completed now, I think, and it's not been a bad game.
I agree with you, Andy. I think Beeston have settled quicker than I thought they would. They've mopped up a lot of Old Georgians' attacks. It would be really good if they could get back into the game somehow, but of course
There's attempted interception, didn't come off, but it was close. Keep trying, keep trying. The speed that the ball's moving around is a big factor in the game.
It is, yeah. A few missed passes and traps from Old Georgians, so there's a bit of a sign that Beeston's energy is high. Just rushing them a little bit, so that's a good sign. Need to get them out of these dangerous areas, and that's what they can't afford to do. That's a long pass. It's been caught. They've been caught out a bit.
Swing of the arm, another long corner. It looks like.
Yeah, and they need to work out how to take as much pressure off as often as possible, to try to spoil anything that Old Georgians are trying to do. Good position for OGs here.
Marshall with the ball in. There's the reverse. Bit too high for the umpire's liking, I think, there.
Yeah, Chris Griffiths there just getting the ball onto his reverse stick, trying shots really quickly, open stick or reverse stick. Deemed to be a little bit dangerous.
That was very, very high tariff, but it did come off.
Absolutely.
Run from Ali Richmond. Did well, took a bit of pressure off and got the ball over the halfway line. Possession and pitch position is quite important
Absolutely
today.
right, yeah. This is a good position for Beeston. They can build stuff from here.
In towards the circle. It's been mopped up and almost a risk of it being turned onto a self-foot, if that's a thing, if I can call it.
Yes, Old Georgians were alert to that, although it was very nicely left. Again, a bit of pressure from Beeston.
Slick. And there's definitely, I'll repeat it, Beeston are biting into this game.
Yeah, they need to try and win a penalty corner if they can off some of these attacks. But here we go again, the pace down the right-hand side there for Old Georgians from Sam Ward. There into the D, not quite controlled, so that should be a Beeston ball.
Yeah, just as the ball rolls over the line, a quick run through of the roster of those 11 internationals. So George Pinner in goal. If unless I say otherwise, it'll be England and GB. So George Pinner, James Albury, Henry Weir, Ashley Jackson, Dan Shingles, Liam Morton, Tom Carson, Sam Ward, James Tyndall, Chris Griffiths and Matt Brown, international from South Africa. So that's 11 today.
Yep, formidable list really. Again, I quite like the way that Beeston have worked that out. That's stringing together 3, 4, 5 passes, giving them an opportunity to get it into a dangerous place.
And that's disappointing.
That is disappointing. That's very straightforward stuff, really. You get behind the ball, get your stick vertical. The old grass style of hockey. Make sure you trap the ball and don't let it go away.
I think Balraj Panasar was a little bit surprised at how much room he'd got to receive the ball.
It was acres of space. It was quite surprising. Good work right there from Ollie Ashdown.
Henry Weir, number 3. Can hear music coming from somewhere.
Yes.
Hopefully, I don't know if that's being picked up where you are, wherever you're listening in the world, because it's certainly not coming from our area.
The aerial again, good use of the aerial into the D.
Shot attempt,
Good
and low save
from Simon Hujwan.
The power on the shot as well, it crunched.
Well, the aerial was very accurate, and the forward was able to get into the right position for receiving it, so it fell quickly to his feet. He got the shot off, but Simon Hujwan was in the right line. Again, driving towards the D, but good defence, good low defensive tackle there. Just use those little moments to sort of regroup within the phase of the play that you're in, just settle down a bit. Good patient stuff from Beeston.
Whipped in towards the midfield and has been kept in. It's been battle for. You can see Ward with a headband in the distance, and that makes player recognition a bit easier.
Yeah,
he's been everywhere so far.
He has, yes. But again, Beeston's passing lines and work rate pretty good. Keeping it at the moment to this 1-0 scoreline, and they've made a lot of connections through their outletting, which is the way in which they get the ball out. Just these little moments where they don't quite pick up the passes well enough.
Just looking at James Tyndall, number 10 for Old Georgians. He had the opportunity to try and win the ball back, but he was pushed onto his weight onto the other side, and the ball was played away from him. It's been a decent performance from Beeston.
I agree. So far, it's so good. It's just the 1 goal. In any game, that still gives you an opportunity to get back into it, and there's been enough spark in the Beeston game to show that they could create something.
About 60 seconds now until quarter time. It's a lead for Old Georgians, the champions ahead here. Just looking at Chris Griffiths having to go backwards as his route towards goal was blocked off. Dan Shingles switching across, and now it's all the way over on the right hand side. Gentle stuff now from Old Georgians, but I'm sure the pace will suddenly appear, and there it is, blocked off on the outside of the circle. Long corner is the outcome.
James Aubrey a bit higher up the pitch now, so working in the Beeston 23 metre defensive area. Another aerial into the D. This time honour to the defender, so he gets the time for a restart.
Just watching the clock ticking away. I'm not sure that the players can see the time that's left, and did that flick off a Old Georgians stick? I think it may not have been 5 metres there. In fact, that is the final whistle of the first quarter, and a very enjoyable quarter it has been. 1 goal in it so far. We thought it may have taken a touch, but it looks like we've got the goal credited to Sam Ward, so that's goal number 8 in the league this season.
Yeah. Well, I think credit to Beeston there. They're going to have to look at this game in the context of the quarters that we get, try and perform well in each quarter. They've done pretty well there, the 1 goal against. I think they'll be relatively pleased with that. And it's not all been one-way traffic. I think there's been a couple of little opportunities for Beeston.
Interestingly, off camera, quite a lot of the crowd are disappearing. Maybe they think it's half time. Yes. Maybe the lure of the hot pies is doing some wonders for them at the moment. But it seems obvious to say that Sam Ward's probably been a standout player. But there have been quite a few good performances, and I think Louis Dupre looking pretty decent in defence.
I think he's played well. I think he's slowed up a lot of the attacks. Nice and low defensive work.
Henry Croft as well, who missed the first 2 games of the season. He's now played 2 in a row. It's all right.
Just having a small.
And he's back. And he's back. Have a drink. Have a drink.
I will.
Okay. So yes, just saying as well that Henry Croft missed the first 2 games of the season. He's now played 2 in a row, and he looks full of vim and vigour today.
He was desperate to get back into the first team, and spent a bit of time in Australia over the summer. Had a nasty injury at the back end of last season. He's come through that quite well, so he is raring to go.
It's nice to see that the way that the players are coming back to the field of play with the movement and the liveliness. Sometimes you can come back and amble on, and it gives a wrong signal. I think Beeston We were hearing whispers before the start of the game that they were going to go and enjoy themselves today, come what may.
Nothing to lose in a game like this, and they can practice a lot of things and try hard and get stuck in and enjoy the competition that they're playing in. See a little bit of slow stick off the ball and a jab tackle there. And very, very quickly, possession's turned round. Moments Beeston need to avoid.
So we've just had our internationals gone up. So we mentioned that Tom Carson was in England, a GB full international. Yeah. James Carson is a Wales international as well. Yes. So that's gone up to 11 now. I wonder if that's been something that's been submitted by a keen-eyed viewer who we can possibly credit. I probably should have known that because I did commentate on Wales' successful World Cup back in 12 months ago, pretty much, back in Cardiff.
We've got Gareth Griffiths from Beeston in the Welsh set-up now. So
indeed, a pretty successful Commonwealth Games for him as well.
He did, yeah.
International for GB under 21, winning the Sultan Johor Cup back in 2019. If memory serves. Right.
Relishing his role as captain of this Beeston side, and lots to do going forwards, and it's very much a job in building in progress really for Beeston, but some good signs I think, particularly from the youngsters. It's very easy to look at a side like Old Georgians and think, oh, we're miles off the pace, but some sides are in different phases of build-up and development, and every dog has its day.
Here comes Richmond with a ball out to the right-hand side. He continues his run towards the baseline, allowing a little bit of space for the turn, and Panasar trying now on the right-hand side to make something happen, but not quite this time.
Nearly an opportunity to get the ball into the D. I think as soon as they can do that, Beeston need to get that ball in there, bobble passes or driven crosses, those sorts of things create trouble for the Old Georgians defence.
Space opening up for Beeston now on the left-hand side. Yeah. There's runners in the middle as well, so this could be a positive outcome. Can the ball get turned in here? Not quite this time, and it's been carried over the baseline. That's probably Beeston's best chance so far in the game.
Yeah, I think the point at which that ball gets slipped, probably a bit late, so obviously it's been turned over again, but another promising little sign of the circle entry for Beeston.
If you're just joining us, it's Beeston in the black and yellow, playing from left to right, and it's Old Georgians in a special change kit today, pink, white and pink. This is a special kit for against breast cancer. If you'd like to donate, then you can do. justgiving.com/fundraising/Samuel Ward 13. Thought we'll keep throwing that one in every couple of minutes or so, just to let people know why Old Georgians aren't in their usual colours, and also the cause the shirts represent.
Just watching Ashley Jackson, number 4 there, drifting through the midfield quite easily into a place that he likes to be, feeding that D.
Look how quickly that second ball was being mopped up as well, and Beeston have done pretty well, not brilliantly, but pretty well to get out of that situation with the ball over the sideline. It was almost kept in.
Yep, they foiled the attack at its source, I think, and just a slight problem getting the ball out and making a connection. Ball back with Old Georgians in this higher pitch position, transferring the ball around. Happy to feed it into the D, but Beeston seem to be on that.
Looking again at the numbers, I'm looking at the Old Georgians player. I'm sure I saw a number 4 on the back of a player a few moments ago. There we go, there's a 4, and I haven't got a 4 on my team sheet.
No, that's right. I think that number 4 is on the, it seems to be on the back of Sam Ward. Oh no, it's here.
It's Sanford.
Sanford, yeah. So no, it's Ashley Jackson's got 4 on.
Oh, okay. So we had him down as 20, so our numbering system is shot to pieces.
It is,
so
yeah.
We're relying on the player recognition. Just play it down here, just in front of the camera.
Ashley Jackson, yeah, just with onside Henry Weir.
But he's sure got 20 on his shorts, and he's got Liam Sanford's shirt
on. And it is Ashley Jackson.
might head up to the bar, at this rate.
There is again, quickly laying that ball off.
Just a little slide of Dan Shingles there. He almost his foot gave away.
James Aubrey very quickly back then, but committed offence against Gareth Griffiths, so the ball's back with Beeston.
All the twos on the scoreboard. Beeston 0, Old Georgians 1. This would put Old Georgians up to 9 points, level at the start of the day with Wimbledon. It's a very, very close affair in the men's Premier Division this season.
Yeah, those top 5 teams very strong, very competitive with each other. OGs maybe stand out a little, but that doesn't mean that sides like Surbiton, Holcombe, very strong teams this year.
A lot of whip and direction on that. That was great out from defence. The ball has been closed down. The ball pops up and it's off into the dugout. Mentioning the league table a few minutes ago, here are the results from yesterday. East Grinstead 1, Hampstead and Westminster 3, Reading 4, Holcombe 5, and Wimbledon 4, University of Exeter 1. Elsewhere today, Oxford, University of Nottingham, and started at 1:15 Brooklands, Surbiton. This is the final fixture in that list.
Yeah, dangerous build up from OGs, firing that ball across.
Hujwan having to drop to be aware, and the ball is being carried out, I think, off Hujwan's left side. No time wasted on the restart. Beeston, though, quickest to it, and the route out, that was a nice idea, but slightly just a fraction too much pace.
Got to be a bit more accurate to make sure that gets taken away. It's led to another right side attack from OGs, but they've run it off the back of the pitch, so that's
Sam Ward running like a bull. You do
yes.
Either with the ball or without the ball, you're wary of his presence.
Absolutely.
Remember a few years ago when he was at Holcombe, he came up here one afternoon and held a brolly up for me all afternoon. That was very kind of him. You don't get that from many other sports, do you?
No. I used to coach Sam when he was young, a little lad of 14, 15 with great promise, so demanding of himself. Took him a while to get going and become established, but
and it's also worth repeating that you don't always have to be in the talent tiers as you get up older and older and older and older. Sometimes you can break in, so keep plugging away.
Absolutely
youngsters,
right.
if you're watching, don't give up if you're not in the top tier as a junior. Keep playing and those chances will come.
Nearly a nice connection on the left hand side, but a little bit too loose. But again, similarly, the retreat defending that Beeston are doing is forcing 1 or 2 errors from OGs as well, so it's a good sign again. Good ball pace. But that is careless. That is not what you need.
Joe Paul with a release, and look at the pace, and that's a shooting opportunity nearly given away. Just Joe Paul having to recover, and did pretty well to not play the ball onto his foot in the circle, and the ball's been taken over the baseline for a Beeston ball. That's chaotic at the back.
Yeah, you've really got to make sure that you get these, that you're in knowledge of where the players are. Look how that's been taken off Samapula.
Hujwan leaves an open goal, and that's been turned in.
I mean, very easy finish for Old Georgians there. But
Chris Griffiths with a goal.
Yeah, that stem. The trigger point of that was the sloppy pass from Joe Paul, and the ball into midfield turned straight into, there you go, 3 midfielders for OGs, and the ball's just fallen loose. Not
calm finished low along the ground. And Chris Griffiths' first goal of the season for Old Georgians gives the league champions a second goal of the day. So Beeston's job just got that touch harder.
Well, I put that down to a self-inflicted wound, really, because they had every opportunity to take that away and they messed that up twice. So that's why the Old Georgians forwards have scored a very easy goal there.
Also a moment to appreciate the calmness in front of goal, because sometimes when you get an opportunity like that, pace and hammer it, and it could sometimes go wrong. The right thing to do was guarantee that the ball went into the goal. Final boot of the ball, and that's some distance on that from Simon Hujwan.
Obviously recognising the need to take that ball away from the D and out of the Beeston defensive area. Or James Aubrey again, so much develops from him. The positions he plays are extremely good on the ball.
Good challenge, though. That's Rohan Bowie with the pressure coming.
Yeah.
One of the new recruits this season, Rohan Bowie, came across from Loughborough University.
Yes, yeah. As I say, it's very much a work in progress for Beeston, building a side that can be together maybe for 2 or 3 years and grow a little bit and try to get up to speed.
Little stab tackle and a second one successfully shielded away from the attentions of Lee Morton. Scotland and Great Britain international,
Nice.
Lee Morton.
Nice way of playing out there, nicely connected, and the ball falls to Ollie Ashdown.
Support was coming, but it's just, we were saying earlier on about the fractions and
Yes,
how much you've got to be on top. Sometimes you can have a game and you can have a little leeway. Some things might not be quite right and you can get away with things. Not today.
No, I think those the smallest of errors are picked on by OGs, and they'll turn it into a counter-attack very quickly. They do like this flank play on the right-hand side. Find it very easy to get the ball into high attacking positions on the right-hand side, and they don't waste any time getting it into the D. And I think because their forwards know that that's what they will do, they're all ready, and that's why they score so many goals. That's good, forcing James Aubrey out.
Looking at the ball being swept across, Henry Weir is likely to be the target here, and that's exactly the way it's gone. Ball being punched into the circle. Griffiths just having to take a little moment to work out where the ball was before making an action.
Great trap, but I wasn't quite sure. See, these are the moments that I find a little bit irritating because it's unnecessary to turn the ball over there. I should know in advance that the minute you receive the ball as a midfield outlet, you're going to be squeezed really quickly, often by 3 midfield players from Old Georgians, and you cannot dwell on the ball.
Also, if you do give the ball away, I'm not mentioning any names, but the player that did give the ball away was flat-footed for a fraction of a second before we're starting to chase back, and you can't do that.
No, you can't. We discuss a lot this outletting and the way in which you get the ball away from your own defensive areas. Do you use your midfield players? Do you use your half-backs? And so many times you'll see midfield players pressed hard.
Half an hour gone, Beeston 0, Old Georgians 2.
This time they've gone to a half-back and fed it forwards. But again, Old Georgians very quickly onto that.
Into the circle, and Beeston get the advantage of the whistle there, and they're trying to play it very quickly now. This seems to have worked well, and they're trying to go early with the pace. There's a decent trap. Where's the support coming? It's just back into the left at the moment.
Again, not quite a quality enough pass back there from Ollie Ashdown, just left it loose, but thankfully it's fallen to Beeston. We're going to sideline restart.
Not in the match day squad today for Old Georgians, but Nick Bull, it's his birthday today. Will be 34 today.
Oh,
so
really?
Many happy returns, Nick Bull. And while we're talking about birthdays, happy birthday to my brother, who's 36 today.
So again, little steady progress from Beeston, and often an error leads to the turnover of possession. But as you were saying, Andy, Beeston can't take anything for granted, really. They've got to be cute on the ball all of the time, quick, prepared to give and pass the ball quickly.
Just look at the time waiting for the ball to drop. Is the right thing to do, make a challenge and not get the ball, or just to wait to see where the ball's going?
It's a little bit of both, really. I mean, sometimes you have to commit to a hard challenge, interception type tackle, and other times you have to be reading how much space the opponent has got. You need to step off and tackle at a slightly later point in the phase. Ashley Jackson throwing that ball in the air.
Terrific delivery. The shot coming, and that's being turned in for the third.
Well, it's unusual that, because I watched exactly that same goal scored by Old Georgians against Nottingham University. Ashley Jackson, little angled pass to the progressive James Aubrey, who's very good on the ball. There you go. picks it up nicely, hits it quickly.
Creating the room for the shot, and there it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point to slow that attack down is when that aerial was thrown. Again, a little unnecessary turnovers cause all kinds of issues for Beeston, particularly when they're in the midfield.
If I was in the Beeston coaching camp, I would be relatively happy if it was 2-0 at half-time.
Yes.
3-0 just makes it a little bit like a more difficult team talk.
Yes, I think that's right.
Just checking, are we crediting the goal for James Albury? Oh, and a real golden opportunity for Beeston to pull one back. And the George Pinner really involved. You can hear the sound of the ball hitting his pads.
Sign of a good goalkeeper, doesn't have a lot to do.
Ward been bypassed in the Beeston goal, and what's the umpire signal? It's just gone over the baseline. I think
that's trapped on the base on the goal line by whoever the Beeston defender was. Very alert. That would look to me, for all the world, like a fourth goal. But Beeston have stopped that happening, so there's a lot of enthusiasm still in the team.
Not much movement in the frame. Now it starts to come. All very congested in that far corner of the field.
Sometimes difficult to get the ball out of that corner. Old Georgians will keep plugging away, and then maybe, there we go, out it goes for another aerial. Just checking
at the screen here. So we've got definitely James Albury for the third goal. Yeah.
He ended up travelling away from the goal, turning and hitting it really hard into the bottom corner. I think it was the aerial into the D that needed stopping.
Indeed, Ashley Jackson, evergreen. Ashley Jackson.
Yeah, some good passing at times from Beeston. Just need to get a little bit more up the pitch. Here we go. Can they get on the ball?
One more opportunity to pump the ball in. There's 30 seconds left of the half. One more chance. Is there a route into goal? Diagonal ball bouncing in. Difficult one to trap. There's an appeal for a penalty corner, but there's a very, very weak one.
Yeah, good basics from Old Georgians in defence. Oh.
Good from Bowie. Really, really good stuff. Into the circle, shooting chance, and that's a penalty corner, and that is the end of the first half. Dramatic way to get the first penalty corner of the game for Beeston, so they can afford to pull absolutely everybody up and take the potentially bring it back to 2.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think any opportunity to get that ball in the D for Beeston can lead to anything. They need to do it as often as possible. A bit of a lift there and onto a foot. First time really Old Georgians have got one of the defensive manoeuvres wrong, and leads to a corner.
Rowan Bowie, one of the ever-presents. He's played all 4 fixtures for Beeston so far this season. I'm not sure who's the likeliest to be delivering this penalty corner, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think I've seen the consistent taker for Beeston so far this season.
I think this will probably be Jamie Rawlings. He's a very powerful flicker if if the injection and trap's right. Can be quite accurate. So I'll suspect it'll go to him.
Rawlings, again, another one of the ever-presents, a new player in from Havant this season.
Yes, yeah.
Everyone else around the edge of the circle. Lingering back is Joe Paul, number 20. The delivery is sharp, it's low, there's a chance of a shot, and it's popped up in the air. And that is the final action of the first half. Decent penalty corner, but blocked well.
Yeah, well, Old Georgians running very quickly out to get in the way of that. George Pinner alert to everything, and they've just seen that away in the overtime into the half-time break.
It looks as if we're going to have a full 10-minute break, unless we hear otherwise, because it's a very warm day. I think we're watering the pitch. So it's Beeston 0, Old Georgians 3 at the end of the first 35 minutes. We've seen quite a lot of hockey played in that 35 minutes.
I think it's been a good game. OG's obviously on top with the 3 goals. Beeston played some good stuff at times, and that last little attack leading to a corner will be something that they'll try in the second half.
We're just doing a bit of an on-air production meeting. Do we have the highlights? Yes, we do. So we will have the highlights, and we've got a few words to say after those highlights have gone through. So from Andy Day and Steve Musson, it's the end of the first half, but we will be back talking to you again in a few moments after the highlights.
Erling Haaland of the hockey world, I think. He's prolific.
Just waiting for Beeston to settle on the line. Are we going to see a routine, or are we going to see power from Old Georgians? Oh, neither is the result. It has been turned in, though, and it's early goal for the champions.
Well, they didn't trap it exactly. Bobble passes or driven crosses, those sorts of things create trouble for the Old Georgians defence.
Space opening up for Beeston now on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
There's runners in the middle as well, so this could be a positive outcome. Can the ball get turned in here? Not quite this time, and it's been carried over the baseline. That's probably...
Yeah, you've really got to make sure that you get these, that you're in knowledge of where the players are. Look at that's been taken off Samapula.
Hujwan leaves an open goal, and that's been turned in.
I mean, very easy finish for Old Georgians there. But
Chris Griffiths with a goal.
Yeah, that stemmed the trigger point of that in the phase. Ashley Jackson throwing that ball in the air.
Terrific delivery. The shot coming, and that's been turned in for the third.
Well, it's unusual that because I watched exactly that same goal scored by Old Georgians against Nottingham University. Ashley Jackson.
Over 50. Our main live streaming partner is Air IT. With over 15 years of industry experience, they're a mature, well-established and trusted strategic technology partner to a wide range of organisations and in-house teams. With comprehensive expertise across IT, communications, cybersecurity and business intelligence, Air IT will cover all your technology needs. Whether you choose to fully outsource or complement in-house resources, we provide a complete managed solution from initial advice to supply, implementation and ongoing support. Find out more at airit.co.uk. We're also proud to partner with Club Buzz. Club Buzz lets sports clubs build an incredible website and manage their entire club, including their team selection and payments with a Club Buzz app, which is rated 5 stars in the Apple App Store. Get started for free with Club Buzz at clubbuzz.co.uk. Welcome back to BTV. Conditions perfect for the visit here of the champions, Old Georgians, being hosted by Beeston. Beeston in the yellow and black, Old Georgians in the pink, white and pink. Just another quick push for the reason why Old Georgians are in pink today. It's against breast cancer, due to Sam Ward's mum, Sue Ward, recently recovered from the condition. If you'd like to give yourself a donation, justgiving.com, fundraising /Samuel Ward 13. That's justgiving.com /fundraising /Samuel Ward 13 if you'd like to contribute. So, given that we've had that half-time break, which didn't seem to take 10 minutes,
No.
What can we expect from both teams? I know Old Georgians, you can imagine, no change, nothing. But what are Beeston going to do differently?
Well, I think they might be a little bit disappointed that they let them get to 3-0 up, because I think two of the goals were quite avoidable, because some of the other play have been very competitive from Beeston's point of view. I think they need to get that ball to the D a few more times and maybe try and win another corner, because they've only had the one so far, and just see if they can get some way back into it. But it's certainly a great competition and really useful for them to be participating. Defensively, I think they've done very well. I mean, they've mopped up a lot of the Old Georgians' attacks.
That one breaking down.
There. Yeah, just some good hard work going on to get into place, into position, and tackle low.
Good pressure.
Yeah.
From Old Georgians. Beeston still with possession of the ball. There's the ball popped up. Who's got that one underneath that? It's a nice turn. That's Toby Stanley, I think, underneath.
Yeah. He's controlled that well. Force the foul, and they can restart from a slightly better position. And that's where they need to progress a little bit further, I think. Not let that turnover happen quite so quickly. It's well watched. That's not quite.
That's just we were talking about earlier on the weight distribution. Just the wrong moment for that pass to be released. Good idea. Player goes fine. Huge call of play. That was Dan Shingles who was closest to that.
I think when you're trying to get the ball away from the D, got to be precise. This is dangerous.
Circle penetration. Just waiting for that tap in on the far side. It's gone back with Nick Page, who whips it backwards. Trapped, little look up. Matt Brown. Not to be confused with Matt Guys Brown, both South African internationals.
That's right. Yeah, again, Beeston have marshalled that quite well. Just that little phase we saw a minute ago where they passed the ball straight to an OG's. Eliminate that kind of mistake. Don't quite like the ball being this deep in the Beeston defence. It's the slightest mistake, and
James Tyndall really sniffing around. And the follow-up work from Dan Shingles trying to force that fail, but it's not too bad. Lee Moore vying over towards the left-hand side, and that control is...
Slight difference than we've seen the aerials from Old Georgians being collected by the forwards. Seen two aerials from Beeston into these areas mistrapped. They're very good. Was off the side of the pitch. Doesn't really help Beeston's attempts to build up some attacking play. But again, they've defended well, they've collapsed well to make sure that they've stopped Old Georgians' progression.
Collinson having to check back. That ball wasn't still on the restart, but we'll ignore that one for now. Ball taking a pop-up. That should be a Beeston ball, so that allows a little bit more progression down the field. 23, Jamie Rawlings, who's had a couple of big minutes in front of the camera there. He's been involved quite strongly. Look at the pressure though from Sam Ward, the only player in pink in the half, managing to corral the Beeston defence just by presence alone.
He doesn't mind doing that at all. He'll cause all kinds of trouble just by his running and, as you say, his presence. Good position for Beeston here. It's the only way they can get that into the D.
Has been taken up though over the 23-metre line. Just look at that water coming up. There was a suggestion it may be watered at half-time, but things seem to be okay. Wet. Here's Ward flicking the ball. And did that take a touch? I think appealing for a long corner, definitely. Certainly that's where the camera's set to anyway.
So Robbie Gleeson just marshalling the Beeston defence there, trying to make sure everybody's in position. Man marking the Old Georgians forwards. Trying not to give them any space to work with. Steady build-up by Old Georgians, using that space on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Brown starting it off, and I think with the number 5 on his back, that's Jackson, isn't it? Not the original wearer of number 5. It was Nick Page. So I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Is deliberately. Old Georgians comfortable with playing that ball around. They're
Beeston 3 attempts at getting the ball back, and none of them successful.
That's unfortunate, really. They'd marshalled it well.
Quick
space
ball
there
into the circle. First player onto it is in pink. That's close. That's the closest Old Georgians have come to scoring in the second half.
Yeah, Simon Hujwan having to be very sharp there. Forwards at his feet, and anything loose they will pounce on. Sam Ward again.
Can't play the whole game as much as he wants to. He's
Yes.
got to ration himself out.
Trying his
31
best
now.
to win a corner, I think, but it's Beeston were up to that. Do a little aerial into the D, great position.
How good was that taken down on the baseline? Beeston having to really shepherd the ball out of harm's way. It has been taken down and out off an Old Georgian stick. The quality of that delivery, it was pinpoint.
Well, they used the aerial very well, and it's used as a pass rather than just thrown into space. So they know that they're aiming for one of their own players.
Beeston have been forced to play a little bit quicker than they'd like from the restart.
Yeah, not precise enough on the first time pass. Again, aerial thrown into space, crossed, but not a very good cross that time. So
No, but the idea was great.
Yeah.
The idea was very, very good. This is the sort of thing that if you're looking to build a team from scratch and finding a team that will beat another team based on their own skills as well as finding weaknesses, and this is good though. I'll break off on that.
yeah, I was going to say, I think that was Jamie Rawlings travelling out with the ball there, and gets a chance to have a restart.
Yeah, this is the model. This is the way that you play, because most of the time it's very successful. You want power, you want precision,
Yes.
you want the speed, and you want the accuracy. Whenever you get that opportunity, you may get presented with one opportunity in the game, and you've got to make it count.
So running back into a little bit of trouble there. Didn't see a forward pass, so he had to hang on to the ball.
Seen some quite high scores this week, particularly Reading 4, Holcombe 5 in the men's competition. In the women, we had a 4-4 draw just over the way. University of Nottingham 4, Loughborough 4. Also, one of 3 draws yesterday. Reading 0, Holcombe 0, East Grinstead 2, Hampstead Westminster 2. Elsewhere, Buckingham 1, Surbiton 6. Clifton Robinson's ended Beeston's good run with a 3-0 victory in Bristol.
Beeston with a bit of space on the right-hand side. Ball to Samapula. Still managed to hang on to it. It's done well, and again, good connection.
Things promising. That's the furthest that ball's been down this field in this second half.
Yeah.
We're into the 44th minute now.
Well, Georgians steadily gaining possession and building that out. Not quite, the connection's not quite come off there. You can see they even had a higher player already at that point, just in case they'd trapped that well. Robin Gleeson on the ball.
There's the ball over to Collinson. That was somewhat looked like that was going to come off for some time, and it did come off, and it allowed Old Georgians to swarm around Collinson.
Quick restart again from James Albury from that typical right back position. Ball quickly over the other side of the pitch, and a lot of time for them to set themselves and work out how they want to build their attack.
Dan Shingles gets the whistle. Thought about going quickly, but then left it. There's an option for an aerial here, but no, it's gone backwards.
The first time they're not taking it on, I think, Andy, and Ashley Jackson just getting caught with the ball there. Beeston have a chance to escape.
I think a little bit of frustration starting to show on one or two of the Beeston players. As the ball travels into the circle again, whistle blows. It's a free hit, presumably just outside the circle.
It will be, yes. Beeston quite nicely tidied that up. Need to make sure they stay on the ball, don't turn it over.
And
Again,
look what's happened.
Quite lucky to get away with that, I think.
Croft, by the way, seems to be up and all right and doing well. He's now crossed the 23-metre line in the centre of the picture. There's the ball towards Croft. And that one fizzles out.
Oh, unlucky. Beeston trying to get themselves into attacking positions and put some pressure on OGs. Still not a massive scoreline in the context of the game, and so you never know. Opportunity to score a quick goal and maybe get a corner. Could put a bit of pressure on Old Georgians. That's the thing about hockey, it's geared to lots of goals, and which is why it's a bit unusual that I think there was a 0-0 draw yesterday, wasn't there, Andy?
There was indeed. There was Reading Holcombe in the women's competition.
Rather unusual in hockey nowadays to see 0-0 draws.
We've never had one on BTV in all of the 700,000 games that we've had over the 5 years that we've been doing this. But there will be one someday.
Yeah.
Pure statistics says there's got to be one at some point. Won't be today.
No, I think it's...
There's the ball in the circle. Presentable opportunity. Just winding up Ollie Ashdown.
Yeah, just these little moments that... frustrating for Beeston. They're building one or two decent positions. If you're travelling in through the inside right channel, the right hand side of the pitch towards the D, good position to attack from. If you kick it while you're doing that, then frustrating.
Just looking at a few of the previous meetings, there's not been many meetings in the time over between Beeston and Old Georgians. No. And this is where we say thank you to Colin Pike for sending through the match information we're looking at now. As the ball gets whipped across to the right-hand side, we'll break off and come back to those historic meetings in a moment. It's good defensive work. Beeston is still sharp.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pleased to see it, really, because it's very easy in a game like this to just back off completely and think you haven't got a chance. That's not the way to play the game.
First meeting between Old Georgians and Beeston was back in December 2004. Where Robert Peregrine, Tom Sherratt, David Griffiths and Adam Dixon scored 4 that day. Old Georgians, Ben Edwards and James Tyndall. James Tyndall still in this team today.
Yeah. He seems to have been ever present as a hockey player, did time at Surbiton as well.
Indeed, European champion with England in 2009, James Tyndall as well.
Yes, yeah. Very good cricketer as well. He's played at a high level.
Here's Beeston over the 23-metre line, trying to make something work around the edge. Goalkeeper's had to make a save. George Pinner down low to his right-hand side. Beeston starting to knock on the door a touch.
Yeah, that was a really good attack, really good first time, almost in the air shot. George Pinner again needing to be ready for it. But we're talking about a matter of seconds and the ball's back on the edge of the Beeston D, so shows how quick counter-attacks from Old Georgians can be.
Ball turned towards goal, watched away safely by Simon Hudgburn.
Yeah, dangerous moments. Carson on the ball there. It was good turn and powerful flick, but thankfully he was off target on that occasion.
No clean sheet yet this season for Beeston. Would that be a concern for you now?
Yeah, I think you need to try to get that. I mean, they've had some relatively tough games. The defensive rebuilding going on as well, so it is something you like to try to get to, clean sheets if possible.
Gleeson in the thick of things, trying to win the ball back, and I think he's done just that. Here he is in possession now. Looks up, thought about sweeping the ball to the right and opted for the ball back, and that invited a challenge. And so close to being turned over, and yes, it has been turned over.
James Hunt travelling, no kind of pace on that pass at all for Jamie Rawlings to work with.
What have we got here? Looks like we're all set up for a penalty corner. That's a disappointing turnover, and also giving away a penalty corner at the end of it.
Well, we do keep talking about these trigger points, and that ball pass there, not good enough. That's just no pace on it whatsoever. Hard for Jamie Rawlings to deal with. So the coach will know who to blame for that.
Second corner for Old Georgians in the game.
See, I think sometimes you have to be prepared as a coach to say to a player, that's not good enough. That pass has led to a potential fourth goal for OGs after a period of really decent hockey from Beeston. So you really do need your players to focus on their basics and their ability to connect passes, and that was just not good enough from James Hunt.
As it's the first penalty corner of the half, it's time to get the equipment out of the bag, so it takes slightly longer than the subsequent ones to get prepared. Here comes the delivery. Nice routine, it's played to the right hand side, it's very intricate. Just making the space for the shots. There's a player right on the line. It's still live though. And it's still looking for a shot.
Yeah, well defended by Beeston. A lot of scrambly work had to be done there. Simon Hudgwan again made a couple of really good saves. But they've seen that one away.
I think you've created a new word. You've added to the lexicon. Scrambly work.
Scrambly work, yes.
It does sum it up very well because it was all hands to the pump in that defence. Also about the routine as well. It did create confusion.
Yes, it did, yeah. I think sometimes you just got to be prepared to do what's necessary and it doesn't look pretty.
Not long now until the third break in the game. 3/4 time almost upon us. Averaging a goal a quarter for Old Georgians as things stand, but it's been no goal scored in this third.
Yeah, and I think, it's what you'd probably expect at the start of the game, but Beeston were disappointed with a couple of the goals conceded, and they have not exactly been out of it. They've had 2 or 3 chances that were quite good. I think they could do with another corner or two.
You can see the ball patrol shielding their eyes. It's a very sunny day. The sun in the direction of the technical officials and the dugouts, so not too much of a problem for the players. But
no.
If you happen to be facing the sun, it's not very pleasant. You can see the shadows lengthening on the pitch as the game continues. That should be 3/4 time, but the timing may not be.
There we go.
Official. There we go. That is 3/4 time. 2 minutes to catch our breath. It's Beeston 0, Old Georgians 3. You can see on the screen Sam Ward, Chris Griffiths and James Albury, the goal scorers. A bit of a giveaway for those 2 goals, and also the opportunity we just saw a moment from the penalty corner. Those were avoidable.
Yeah, they were. I mean, with hindsight, you can see where an error by Beeston has led to a goal, and in other parts of the game, Beeston have been very competitive. I think they've defended well. They've certainly worked hard enough to get back into defensive shape and tackled low and hard. But it's just those little moments that have given OGs the edge. So, as I said in the first quarter, it's not been one-way traffic for OGs. And Beeston will be a bit disappointed about the fact that 2 of the goals could have been avoided, I think.
Maybe you can't hear this over the live stream, but just for copyright reasons we can't bring it to you. But you can hear the theme from Rocky ringing around here. Yeah. I think this is trying to G the Beeston players up for a bit of a fight in the. And I don't mean a metaphorical fight, a bit more vigour in that 4th quarter.
Yes.
So, what can Beeston do differently apart from getting the basics?
Yeah, well, I think that, a quarter to go, what have you got to lose? They don't want to be hammered, so they'll be keen to make sure that defensively they are structured properly, and as they have been doing, tackling well. They've relied on Simon Hudgwan to make a few good saves, which he's done very well indeed. But it's just in that final third when they're attacking to try to upgrade that possession they have and try and work a long corner into a short corner into a goal. Bit of right-hand side possession into shot on target, that sort of thing. It'd be good for Beeston to pick a goal up, good for their confidence as they go into East Grinstead next week. And accepting that their battle's probably with those bottom 6 teams for most of the season, but it's been a good workout for them.
Indeed, mentioning next week, it's a Saturday game next week, and there's an awful lot of activity at Beeston Hockey Club on a Saturday next week, if you'd like to tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, the cup games, the Beeston 3s and 4s have entered the cup competition this year, so there's 2 cup games either side of the East Grinstead game, and along with all the other stuff that goes off here and all the pitches that the club's got. So it'll be a flat-out day Saturday.
That was calm defensive work, but possession is brief for Beeston. That's taken up by James Albury, 18, trying to find a way into the circle. Suggestion of a foot, but nothing there.
Well, we've seen that kind of pass error a number of times from Beeston, travelling out from the D, but again, they've picked up the defensive part of the game well. It's just here where they don't need to lose possession.
Toby Stanley trying to run through 4 players at once. A huge call of play, so Beeston are in defensive job to do. That one smashed off the fencing at the back.
Yeah, I think the Beeston defence were a bit annoyed about the umpiring's decision there, but nevertheless they've got the ball back. Shot from OG's forward over the bar, on the move.
Mentioned today, we have mentioned them already, but today's umpires Lee Barron and Dan Reed.
Again, here we go. Ben Collison turning the ball over in a dangerous area. Seems to have been a bit of a feature, this middle ground for Beeston not being good enough on the ball.
There's another delivery towards the baseline. Spot on. There's a huge appeal for a penalty corner.
Well, the reason for that is they think that ball should have been allowed to drop to the feet of the Old Georgians forward, seeing he's underneath it. And the Beeston defender retreated and smacked it away, and I think that'll be the corner.
There's the delivery again.
Yeah, into good space for Old Georgians, but that is in the fence.
Joe Paul, the player for Beeston, attempting to win the ball back. And you can see the pace suddenly to say, yeah, we think we've got an opportunity here.
Yes,
corner count ticks over again for Old Georgians. This is number 3 of the game.
Well, Joe Paul there was supposed to let that ball settle to the feet of the Old Georgians forward before he did anything about it. Simon Hudge went in quite a good position for that, so it might have worked, but in diving in and hitting that ball away, he's given away the corner, so big advantage to OGs with Sam Ward lining up on
Matt
the first
Bryan.
whistle.
Yeah, Matt Bryan is just the one to the right, number 22. He looks keen to go. He's almost he's primed. He wants
Yes.
another goal. Never satisfied.
It'll probably go to Sam Ward, I'd have thought. There you go.
There's the movement, and that's been padded away. Good save. Simon Huswan called into action again.
He found that relatively easy to.
Another
corner,
penalty corner.
Disappointing. Having done that good work to stop a Sam Ward corner, he's going to have another go. Oh, I see Ashley Jackson stepping up.
Just looking again. You were saying about how calm Simon Huswan was. He just seemed to get his hand up really quickly and padded it away, and then
I think that was Ben Collinson again. I think he might have given them both away. So personal little things to look at. Good injection gone to the other castle, and they've messed that up a bit.
this is a chance for a fourth, and that's wild. And also, where's that banging noise coming from? I'm not sure if that's our friends of the Ball Patrol.
I think it was. Again, Beeston have defended that well. Aerial out. It's going to go off the sideline. So a lot of deep defence from Beeston needed here as OGs push for this 4th goal. I mean, they may be a little bit disappointed that they haven't scored more than 3, but credit to some of Beeston's defending. Ashley Jackson just taking his time.
Ashley Jackson, though, I think most people know that he plays ice hockey as well.
Yes.
Is there a difference to his skills with the stick that's noticeable for someone who's been watching hockey more often?
Well, I think it.
There's the turned in.
Yeah.
And that's Sam Ward again. So quickly, we didn't even get a chance to say about the build-up.
Yeah, hard cross from the apex of the D. Sam Ward, always the predator when it comes to deflections, and probably always in the right place as well. But that ball fed right onto the player's stick. Cross, bang, deflection, no messing.
Near post finish from Sam Ward, 2nd of the game for him. Moves on to 9 league goals this season.
Yeah, very, very useful. Again, look at the little turnover there, unnecessary, leads to problems. Right high into the corner, falls to Beeston as it's knocked off the side.
Yeah, Ward is fallible after all, just knocking the ball out of play. But look at the pressure though. Beeston finding it difficult to get out of here, and the turnover is almost immediate. And Sam Ward on his bike very quickly, playing the ball into the circle, just skips away. And who's closest to that? Beeston keep it in on the far side.
Yeah, we're talking about ice hockey skills, and I thought they were completely different in their way. But typical of Ashley Jackson, that he's good at both types of hockey.
He was a player from Victor Dynamos, he's now at Raiders in Watford.
So from that we assume he can skate.
Oh yes. He's had quite a varied career. He's played at East Grinstead a couple of times, Holcombe.
Yeah.
He's played at HGC twice, and he's also played at Ranchi Rays in India as well.
Yes, yeah.
Been going since 2003. That's his starting point with East Grinstead.
Yeah, it was a long time at East Grinstead. Played indoors for them when they were in the European stuff. Quite a career, really. Very prolific penalty corner taker.
250 international laps. That's a nice way to check out. 137 goals. Nice small amount. Beeston having to defend.
You see, all that came from a very poor pass in the middle of the park again. And it's been a feature of Beeston's game. They're not connecting the passes well enough. Too many times it's gone directly to an OG's player.
There's a ball into the circle, but just wide of everybody. You can just see, the body language of Samapulo. He wanted it a bit slower, maybe, and you can do something with it. But
I think when your attacks are infrequent, it's hard to know where that ball will be played to, so you perhaps don't make the right leads. And sure enough, on that occasion, Samapulo a bit flat-footed, not knowing which way to go, and the ball just bypassed him. Those Old Georgians, you can see them leading high all of the time, expecting their players to just fire that ball into the D at short notice, and they'll always be ready for it.
that's worked for Beeston, but look at the number of pink shirts around the edge. By the way, we'll give it another quick push as well, because Old Georgians in pink shirts today is their match against breast cancer, as the ball is in the circle and Beeston calmly trying to get things out of harm's way from their perspective. Yes, this is Old Georgians match against breast cancer. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do that. justgiving.com/fundraising, all one word, /Samuel Ward 13. So that's Samuel Ward 13. Ball is in the circle again. Beeston starting to...
Yeah, tidy that one. That was a tidy pick-up defence and outlet. They've done well there. The one thing I would say about this game today, Andy, is that it bodes well for some of Beeston's fixtures against sides who they think they'll be more competitive with. One of which might be next week against East Grinstead.
Indeed, looking at the fixtures that are coming up, that match is at 2 o'clock. Then a week after that, it's a trip to Wimbledon, which is never an easy place to go to.
That's a tough fixture.
Looking at the official list, and that match is scheduled to start at midnight as well, which is going to make things difficult. And less than 10 minutes to go. I'm going to get up and have a look at the other fixtures that are coming up that are published for Beeston's men. It's home against Brooklands on the 6th of November and away across the road at University of Nottingham on the 12th of November. All of those looking quite promising as well as games that you target.
Well, they'd have to be. I mean, Beeston wanted to make sure that within that bottom part of the league that they are performing and picking up points.
The league doesn't start again. It's almost like Super 8s in cricket.
Yes,
you carry those points through to the second phase, and it helps if you're even if you're in the bottom half. If you can get a decent cushion, you can afford to pick and choose the games that you fancy.
Yes.
Beeston towards the circle again, and once again you can hear the crowd actually getting really animated.
Good connecting play down the left-hand side at base. Lee Morton on the ball there, still got it.
Riding a couple of challenges, cavalry's coming for Old Georgians. Goalkeeper's down, and that's been turned into the goal. However, you can tell by the tone of my voice it's not a goal.
Again, look at that. That must be so disappointing for both the player and for the coach, let alone the team. You can't do that. You have to make sure you get on that ball, Henry Croft.
Little slip. What do you feel that if it was offered, Beeston would shake hands at 4-0 now?
Well, my nature is I'd like to see him try and score a goal. They've got 8 minutes to try and get the ball into the D, win a corner and see if they can get to 4-1. And the thing about this is the way the league is now, you use this game as a great sounding board, as a practice game, whatever you want to call it. Get yourself up to speed for the games that you are competitive in, so they can really compete after the Christmas in the second phase of the league.
Long corner. That was a great delivery as well into the far corner of the field, using every millimetre of the field. There's another good ball towards the baseline. Just a bit too much pace on that one for James Tyndall to try and pick up.
Tricky to get that on his reverse stick side, but OGs are prepared to throw that ball into the D, expecting forwards to lead. Sometimes they're not necessarily visible at the time the pass is made, but they expect their players to get on the end of the pass anyway.
James Tyndall. That's been turned in, and that was an easy finish. However,
well, James Hunt feels that he's not even restarted that, and so Tyndall's alert as ever, just taking the ball off his stick.
Now it looks as if Old Georgians are making their way back to the halfway line. This is a replay. We're still not officially waiting for that goal. We haven't had any goal music, which is possibly a signal, but no, it is actually a goal. And
well, if that's the case, it's a sign of how alert you have to be, because James Tyndall's not hesitated to take that ball, so he saw a chance, whereas James Hunt was obviously done something to trigger the restart and wasn't ready. Again, another, I would say, unnecessary goal. For the effort to pick the ball up there, brilliant.
Just the 13 goals now scored at Nottingham Hockey Centre in 2 visits for Old Georgians. There's another ball across the face of goal. Stabbed away, but so not very far. Sounds like outside of the frame of the goal.
Yeah, I think it was, but 50-50 ball there, and OG's got to it quickest, and that's not good enough if you're defending. You need to get there and make sure that you put a good hard tackle in and pick that ball up.
James Tyndall, 39 years of age, still heavily involved. Shingles in towards the right-hand side. One out and over the baseline. Saying the difference, James Tyndall, 39 years age. I turned 44 on Monday. I moved some stuff in the garden yesterday and I actually shot to pieces. I couldn't manage anything like this.
Yes, he's been around a long time and he's familiar with the game. He's not as active as he used to be, but he can certainly put the ball in the net.
Andrews taking on the entire back line of Old Georgians. I think he's been successful in earning a long corner. Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Moving quickly. A little bit of good footwork. Flicked up, is that dangerous?
Too dangerous, yeah. Too high, I think. His attempt to get across, the ball was bouncing and he put it into the Stan Shingle's body. Yeah, but that James Hunt moment was interesting because obviously everybody, the umpire felt he'd started the play, and well, we've got the benefit here, as it shouldn't have been a goal.
No, I think we do have the benefit of the replay, which I'm sure we will we can pore over. Let's just say the production team are unhappy.
Yes.
Gently and politely saying that's the case. However, Old Georgians into the circle again on the reverse, and that is a good save by Hujwan, and Beeston have to come out from defence. Being picked up now by Ashdown, who's decided to go along with it and tries to smash a window here.
Yes, yeah. I think it's past our window there. It's about 100 miles an hour. It's a shame, really, because I think when the coaches go back over the video this week, there's certainly 3 of those goals that were utterly avoidable. And those are the things that we're trying to work on, eliminating those errors. Quite a few passing errors as well, but some really good defensive work from Beeston as well, so there's a huge positive there.
I do try and look at the away sides because it's a few times of the season I get to see them. And Old Georgians, what have they got? Well, it's a combination of a good base and ruthlessness as well, because they were presented with those opportunities. They didn't just have to just get tapped in. There had to be work done to finish them off.
Yes, a lot of other players would have missed the same opportunity, but OG is very slick at goal scoring, and they frequently get 4, 5, 6 goals a game.
Just looking at the caption, which is coming up towards the end of the game, we've got 3 minutes or so till to play. Our caption's still saying 4-0, because I don't believe that our production team are going to put that 5th goal on. But
unprepared to do it.
There's Ward again, creating chaos.
Away for everything, yeah. He's setting aside the goals, which are obviously quality finishes. Most of those have been good from OGs. Some of the competitive stuff in the middle of the park has been equal, and I think that Stephen Wood, as Beeston coach, will be looking at that and thinking, well, we're going to get a bit of space here for OGs.
Just about to be delivered off towards the on-running James Cunningham, who name I've not really mentioned too much in this game so far. And then Beeston can clear. They've decided to go long and quickly, and things could break down. There's not many people back home for Old Georgians. Can Beeston find a breakthrough, find a way through this defence that they've not tested very often? It's gone a long way. Still in play.
Get a corner for
and
that.
it is a penalty corner. Second of the game for Beeston.
Lee Barron just waiting to see if there was a finishing shot there, but he'd already made his decision to give a corner. And so an opportunity for Beeston to get on the scoreboard, which would be a great thing to do. Despite the fact that it'll be a loss, scoring goals is something they need to work on.
I did mention this earlier on. Who's likeliest to be taking this? Is anyone developing behind the scenes as a ruthless penalty corner taker? Because about 12 months ago we were looking at Kai Aichinger, who was very, very good, and unfortunately went back home to Cone. Well,
Jamie Rawlings and Jamie Golden have been the two taking penalty corner flicking for Beeston. Jamie Golden not here today. Jamie Rawlings is there again, and he can be very powerful, so I'm sure it'll probably end up with him.
By the way, good luck to Jamie Golden, under 23s with Scotland for the next couple of weeks. There's the delivery, it's good. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. That's been turned in, and just a real stretch of the left hand to try and get the ball in. Is it a long corner? It looks like the case. Final touch of the ball must have come off an Old Georgians player. Here comes a real hustle into the circle. It's been off the frame of the goal. Is that off the underside of the crossbar?
That was a super effort at flicking that up into the top of the net, and sadly for Beeston's point of view, it's hit the bar.
Could do with seeing that one again, and you don't get much closer than that.
No, you don't.
And score. Strange angle. I wouldn't mind seeing that one again, and that probably should be that. Just waiting for the final official whistle. The angle ball beyond everybody.
That'll go away for the finish of the game, probably. George Pinner again, very difficult to beat, very big in the goal. You can see his height, fills a lot of the goal. Good quick reflexes and big wingspan.
And that is the final whistle, and that is the end of the game. Yes, we're still going with 4-0 apparently. It is Beeston 0, Old Georgians 5. I think we've got a few internet troubles, which is not letting us update the scoreboard as we would like. But it is Beeston 0, Old Georgians 5. And that's the final score. Your wrap up on that one.
Yeah, well, I think there are some positives there from Beeston's point of view. Their work rate was good. Retreating into defensive shape was good, and some good low tackles. I think they'll want to work on their counter-attack, making sure their passes are accurate and they make more connections than they did. And in the context of this game, they working that ball into the D more often so they can get more corners and shots on target, I think. So probably to be expected as a result, but some positive signs for Beeston at times, I think.
So it looks as if it'll be an Old Georgians move on to 9 points, so 3 wins from 3. It's their goal-scoring power really has seen them over the line today.
Yeah, they're very good at it. They've got a lot of people who can score, and they, as I say, frequently get up to quite big score lines against most teams.
So next for Old Georgians, looking at their matches that are coming up, it's away to Oxted on the 22nd, then they host Hampstead and Westminster on the 29th in the late game, and it's also away to East Grinstead on the 5th of November for a bonfire night cracker at 6 o'clock at East Grinstead. As we mentioned, Beeston coming up, we're back next Saturday for the men's game, which is slightly unusual. I quite like the idea of mixing up the days of the games.
I agree.
And it is at home to East Grinstead on the 22nd of October, where BTV will come back. It is Beeston 0, Old Georgians 5. Very, very good day at the office for Old Georgians and the ex-Beeston contingent coming back here.
Definitely. I shall try and bring my voice next week, Andy.
Indeed, it's been a pleasure keeping you company this afternoon. I'm Andy Day. Sitting aside me has been Steve Musson with a sore throat all afternoon. Quick one again before we head off. Our headline sponsor is the Magical Mushroom Company. The Magical Mushroom Company harnesses the natural flexibility and strength of mycelium, the material structure of fungi, to grow protective packaging at any scale by combining it with agricultural waste such as hemp, cork and sawdust. You can find out more about the Magical Mushroom Company at magicalmushroom.com. That's all for BTV today. It has been a pleasure keeping you company.